I think for me, at least from a fan, it's going to tell me a lot about this playoff run based upon this first series. If we do what we're supposed to do, get them out in 4 or 5, whatever. I don't want no 6, no game 7. I just want them to handle business. They're a good team, but we are the dominant team here. We're supposed to. There's nobody who could see Cat. They have no Jock Landale. They have nobody in the middle. Just feed Cat, get him involved early, and let Jalen Brunson finish it in the 4th. So this playoff, for me, from a fan's perspective, as somebody who doesn't cover the team every day like yourself, for me, I just want to see what they do in the next 10 days. And I just want them to dominate this team and move on. But moving on, to the coach, right? So Tom Thibodeau's out, Mike Brown is in. So what have you seen? Has that been a positive impact for the team? From your perspective, was the coaching, now that we've had a full year under Mike Brown, was the coaching change actually quite good for the team? Or is it, again, it's still going to be sort of determining, subject to how we do in the playoffs?
It'll definitely be determined in terms of how they do in the playoffs. But make no mistake, I think we saw the unique aspects of Mike Brown's coaching ability. Number one, in how he utilized the bench this year. He went deeper into the bench. You saw guys like Kolek and Diawara emerge. You saw him not be afraid to bench guys like Mikal Bridges in the 4th quarter, opting for Landry Shamet. And, sometimes, you had like Mo Diawara, you had Deuce McBride finishing games. And so, he experimented a lot with that lineup. And I think you have to expect that with a new coach, and versus under Tom Thibodeau, who's kind of set his template. He set his style. He knows the guys that he's going to go to and when he's going to go to them. But offensively, their 3-point shot died. Their 3-point attempts went up. I thought their ball movement and their player movement was definitely better, has definitely been better under Mike Brown. And now we're going to see come playoff time, will he make the proper adjustments? And how will he push those buttons if Mikal's not performing? Will he lean to Shamet? Will it be, when will he go to him? Yeah. He's gonna have a tough job, because you could imagine after every loss, people are gonna be wondering, why didn't you play so-and-so? Why didn't you play Deuce at this point? Why didn't Tyler Kolek come in and give you some playmaking, or Jose Alvarado versus Jordan Clarkson? He's gonna be asked those questions. And so I don't envy Mike Brown at all in this playoff run.
Yeah. Nice. What are the expectations as the Knicks fan community for this year? Is it getting to the championship, or is it winning the championship?
I think it's definitely getting to the championship.
Okay.
You have to give OKC their respect. It's hard to see many teams toppling that OKC team. They're just way too deep, and Shea playing at an MVP level, naturally you're going to have to consider them the favorites. Now, if the Spurs get them up out of here, let's go Knicks. Let's go.
That's the one thing I'll concede. My friends ask me, unfortunately for us, anything less, for me personally, less than a finals appearance is a busted year. I think I went back to your first episode of the season. I think that's the expectation. Finals or bust. If we get there against OKC, yes, I'm going to put my Knicks glasses on. I'm going to be Knicks in 7 or whatever it is. But it's hard to dethrone the champs, because they're an incredibly deep team, and I don't see a lot of teams matching up with them. But I feel very confident against Denver and the Spurs, right? Because those are the type of teams that we do well against. Half-court team, half-court offenses. But it's just sort of about the coach, going back to the coaching scheme. There were some games this year that I saw, at least from my perspective, where I'm the only rational way I can talk about the coaching scheme is that Mike Brown's holding all the stuff, right?
Yeah.
That was the only rational explanation as to why certain things went down in sort of clutch moments. There's certain things he's not showing.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's going to be some wrinkles in the offense and the defensive schemes?
Yeah, I do. And he mentioned it. He mentioned it at the beginning of the season. He said, look, in the beginning, I want these guys relying less on plays and more on just getting used to playing with each other, playing off of instinct. It's basketball at the end of the day. And he did say that during the playoffs, I will look to sprinkle in some newer plays, which to me is ideal, because when you're playing a team 3, 4, 5 times, if they would have seen the Raptors in the first round, they would have already played 5 times already, including all those NBA Cup games. So you have to be able to sprinkle in something new, because by the time you get to the playoffs, you know what they want to run, they know what you want to run, and then it becomes, you put it in the hands of your best players to just make a play, a better offense over good defense. But I do think he's going to sprinkle that in. And, what's going to be interesting this year is where Tom Thibodeau didn't really rely on the advice or the consultation from his coaching staff, I think Mike Brown all year has, whether it's Rick Brunson, Chris Gent, the offense coordinator, Brendan O'Connor, the defensive coordinator, he's taken the input from those guys and implemented it. And so it's going to be interesting to see, kind of by committee, how they make those adjustments throughout the course of the playoff series.